Not able to make it down to the races this year for Derby Day? Well, Style Access has you covered. We are celebrating this sporting event with Logan Tavern. We have their chef de cuisine, Shabier Bahramy, and bartender extraordinaire, Jeff Smith, who will chat about food traditions and teach us how to make the best mint julep. Join us as we don our biggest hats and brightest pastels during the Style Access Kentucky Derby runway show. Let's get started. Style Access starts now.
Hello, my name is Rosie, and I'm passionate about fashion. My experiences as a stylist, challenge face-off host, TV personality, and blogger bring us here to discuss all things fashion. Welcome to the Style Access Experience.
There are a few American sporting events with the history and popularity of the Kentucky Derby. This is the longest running sporting event in the United States, dating back to 1875. Its rich tradition, sipping a mint julep, donning a beautiful hat, transcends the Kentucky Derby from just a sporting event, making it a celebration of Southern culture. Joining us to discuss traditional Southern fare is Shabier Bahramy, chef de cuisine at Logan Tavern. For 3 years, he has been serving up his spin on traditional American dishes, inspired by Logan Tavern's American and neighborhood theme and his Afghan upbringing. This chef makes their regulars happy and new clientele clamor to return. Here to help us make the official drink is Jeff Smith. He has been bartending for 6 years and brings a new and inspired style to Logan Tavern's cocktail program. Jeff is an artist with a bartender skill set and makes the Logan Tavern's drink menu a new adventure every week. Welcome, you guys, to Style Access.
Thank you for having us.
So, what do we have here, Chef?
So we have 2 dishes today. The first dish is going to be flash fried green tomatoes.
Okay.
So we start off with a batter of flour and fine cornmeal. Mm-hmm. They are fried at 350 degrees for about 4 minutes.
Okay.
And then we top that with an aioli that has peppers from our farm in La Plata, Maryland. Mm. So we just put that on top of there.
Okay.
And then we use a sauce called vincota, which is a fig balsamic.
Okay.
Top that as well. Has kind of a sweet taste to it.
Oh.
Then we use an aged Parmesan cheese.
Okay.
And then finish it with just a little bit of fresh basil.
Great. So this is a traditional item for the Kentucky Derby.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
This originated in Kentucky, yes.
Okay. And a lot of people come in and order this?
Yeah, when we have this on the menu, it sells very well.
Okay.
So.
All right. Can I taste?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Delicious.
Thank you.
I love it.
Thank you.
Wonderful. And what else do we have?
So our second dish that we run is what's called a Kentucky Hot Brown. Mm-hmm. And a Kentucky Hot Brown is an open-faced turkey sandwich.
Okay.
So we start off with a toasted brioche bun.
Okay.
Add to that some fresh sliced tomatoes. We roast our turkey with a little bit of Dijon mustard, honey, sage, and orange juice for about 3 hours.
Oh, wow.
Then we top that with bacon because everything is better with bacon.
I agree.
And then top it with what's called a Mornay sauce. So a Mornay sauce is essentially a bechamel sauce, which is a mother sauce that's thickened with Gruyere cheese.
Okay.
And then once again, we add our hot sauce from the farm.
That looks delicious.
And then after that, we're just going to add some fresh arugula to it just to brighten up the dish.
Mm-hmm.
And then just a little mixture of olive oil and lemon juice.
Okay.
And that's it.
Very tasty. And let me try it.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks tasty. I'm sorry. I want to try it.
You might want this.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
I know. I was about to. Let me taste.
Well, this is more of like a brunch item for us.
Okay.
Sometimes we'll throw like, an egg on it.
Mm-hmm.
And just for the sake of having it more approachable to brunch.
Oh, wow. Ooh. Very good. Very good. I
Thank you.
like both of those dishes. Now I'm trying to get myself together because it's so great. And now we want to move over to the beverage. What do we have today?
So obviously in honor of the Kentucky Derby, we'll be doing a mint julep. We have a decent amount of these at the restaurant, but I've already put mint in the julep tin, if you will, or julep cup. You'll use about 1.5 ounces of Four Roses bourbon is what we use at the tavern. And then to kind of streamline things and make it easier on us behind the bar, we actually make a mint syrup. More traditionally, it's actually confection sugar, water, and then even more mint. But we'll just use about 1 ounce of this, depending on how sweet or minty you want it, and 1/2 ounce to 1 ounce.
Okay.
We'll lightly muddle it because there is mint in there to sort of bruise the mint and have it release its flavors into the bourbon and the mint syrup.
And how long do you do that for?
Just a couple times.
Just a couple times, okay.
And then I have some pre-crushed ice that we'll put into the tin. And then we'll give it a quick stir. Crushed ice will dilute it a lot, so it'll add a lot of water to the drink, which makes it an easy sipper.
Okay.
Despite being a really boozy drink, it's very light and refreshing and easy to drink because of how sweet it is. And they kind of make it more decorative. We'll mount it up so it's kind of like a snow cone, if you will, and then we'll garnish it with more mint.
And I can smell it over here. The aroma
smells
is,
great.
Yes, it does.
So if you want to try that.
Wonderful. So do I just
Cheers.
sip it out the? Okay. A little messy, but tasty. I'm going back for another one.
Did you make me one?
I can.
No, just kidding.
I like this. Very good.
Good.
What else do we have?
Not a mint julep, but this is a drink that we've had for the past few years on Logan Tavern's kind of spring and summer cocktail menu.
Okay.
It's a watermelon basil slush. We actually use seedless watermelons and fresh basil and puree it in essence, and that's what I have here along with some vodka
Okay.
that we freeze and essentially turn it into a slush. We have a freezer behind the bar that will scoop it out and put it in the glass. Then we top it with sparkling wine.
So what is the most requested? We have the mint julep, then we have.
The mint julep, obviously on the day of the Kentucky Derby or that weekend, but we sold more than 2,000 of these last year.
Oh, wow.
And it wasn't on the menu during the year's entirety, so a good amount.
Wow.
Especially once patio season kicks in for us.
And it's not on the menu, so it's word of mouth, basically. Or how do
The
you
mint
people-
julep is not.
Oh.
This will be in the next couple weeks or so.
Okay. Okay.
We add a little bit more vodka. And then sparkling water as well to give it some more fizz, or you can use tonic.
Maybe too much for this.
That's
Yes.
it.
And then we'll garnish it with a fresh basil leaf.
Okay. Thank you. I'm torn. Both of these are delicious and refreshing. This one is very refreshing. I'm very torn. I like them both.
Good.
And then we have one more.
One last drink.
Okay.
Right now, it's an ongoing contest that we're having with our servers as well as bartenders. It's a drink called the Brown Derby, very springy, summery. It's made with fresh grapefruit juice, bourbon, and a basil-infused honey that I made.
Okay.
So you use about a quarter of a grapefruit, which amounts to about an ounce or so of grapefruit juice.
Okay. This one's like for people at home.
You can
that-
either buy grapefruit juice, juice it yourself, or if you have fresh grapefruits, you can more or less kind of squeeze it and muddle it and have it be a part of the drink.
Okay.
1.5 ounces of bourbon. And then this is house-infused basil honey, and we use about 3/4 of an ounce of that.
Okay. So how long have you been bartending?
I've been bartending since I've turned 21. I graduated from Salisbury University, and they actually have a catering company that we would do kind of private events on campus for folks that wanted to use the university's facilities, in a sense. And that was all kind of like two pour sort of drinks, beer and wine, but more or less it gave me something to put on a resume.
Okay.
And then when I returned home from school, I got a job at a vineyard as a tasting room manager there. It was a vineyard and a winery, so we grew our own grapes and then we made the wine out of it. Furthered my resume building, and then back home for me is Southern Maryland. It's about an hour and 30 minutes south of here.
Okay.
I became the bar manager of a old colonial historic home that was renovated and turned into a restaurant. Worked there for almost 3 years, and then decided it was time to make the move to city living. So I've always frequented DC, probably more so on a monthly basis because we were a little more trendier here, I think, in the city, and not so much of a dead end in a sense for back home for me, because quite literally it is.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a peninsula, and everything south of that is the Chesapeake Bay and on. So, so I'm going to give this a quick shake for about 30 seconds.
So while you're shaking, what are some tips? I know you have the measurements, but if something doesn't come out just right, what do you say? Just keep trying, or?
Yeah, or I guess a lot of the times I think people forget when they may be making drinks at home is dilution is key, whether it's a stirred drink or a shaken drink. If it's a stirred drink, usually you just might need to dilute it longer if it seems like it's not as smooth of a drink as you'd like, as well as when you shake it, the same rules apply, but also when you shake a drink, it actually expands and pumps air into the cocktail, which makes it lighter on the mouth and easier to drink, in essence, even if you don't dilute it as much. The shaking, in essence, it breaks down the molecules in the whatever drink it is and makes it easier to drink. So we'll strain this.
And how important is it to have the right tools at home, like the shaker, the strainer, or can you get by with just the bare minimum?
You definitely can get by with the bare minimum. More often than not, I honestly use just a simple pint glass and stir in that for if you're doing a drink that's traditionally stirred, like an old fashioned or a Manhattan. And then, I mean, this is a 2-part shaker tin that's like $10 on Amazon or even in a store. And then this is called a Hawthorne strainer, which you can use if you were to pretend this was a pint glass. You could use, this will bend so you can put it into even a smaller opening, or actually designed for mint juleps and other things is called a julep strainer, which is actually kind of more of like a slotted spoon, if you will, but for bartenders. And then this gets just a mint leaf garnish, just to give it some green.
So
for
is
brightness.
mint the go-to garnish?
Yeah, it can be, for sure.
Definitely for the Derby.
Okay. Yes. Love this one too. I think my favorite is the mint julep though, but these are strong seconds though.
All right, thank you.
But thank you so much, Shabier and Jeff, for being here.
Thank you for having us.
All right. After the break, we will showcase some Derby fashion. Stay tuned. One of the truly unique characteristics of the Kentucky Derby is that they are sports parties that showcase the finest in spring fashions. Both female and male attendees pull out all the stops when selecting their Kentucky Derby apparel, from cool sundresses to simple cocktail dresses and even more formal attire. But all these styles have one thing in common: the big Derby hat. All hats featured in this segment are from Gorin Brothers, and the wardrobe by Lord & Taylor Chevy Chase. Let's see style access spin on this fashion event. First up is Diana. Diana is wearing an off-the-shoulder sundress with flower details. Simple yet fun. We've kept the accessories down to a minimum with this because because she doesn't need it for this nice floral print. We paired this with blue sandal with the chunky heel, which is very on trend. But we know the main attraction is the hat. Cream wide brim hat with a pastel flower color scarf as the band and custom feather detail. Thank you, Diana. We have Faith up next. Faith has on a classic below-the-knee light pink dress with layers of pearls for that traditional Kentucky Derby look and feel with green strappy sandals. Again, the hat is the statement piece. I wanted to add some color, so I went with this green wide brim hat. Perfect for keeping the sun out your face. Black and white scarf detail with perfectly placed feather details. Thank you so much, Faith. Now with Travoy, I'm starting with the pants because it's the eye catcher from a distance. I went with this pastel pink pair with a white blazer and bold checkered shirt. Added more color with a yellow tie and handkerchief. Polished off this ensemble with a brown belt and shoes. Thank you so much, Travoy. We will be right back. This May, Americans will embrace all things bluegrass and celebrate one of the most fashionable, colorful, and tastiest sporting traditions. How are you going to celebrate? What are you going to wear? Tag us or go to styleaccessdc@gmail.com and send us a pic of you in your Kentucky Derby finest attire. And we will share on our social media pages. Also, be sure to follow us on Instagram and YouTube at Style Access Show. Until next time.